Noah, Ohio, sign with the Sounders, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. We need you here. Bro, MLS is sick. It's awesome. It's so good. It's so cool. It's epic. It's fire. It's woke. It's flames. What other
All right, we got a lot of agendas to get to coming off this Atlanta game, so I guess let's just dive into it. We can rapid fire a couple of these if we need to, but let's start with the man himself, who was the subject of a spirited debate on our last show. Pedro de la Vega is the savior agenda. We discussed that last week a little bit, whether it was what the timeline is for being able to say that, and I think we all agree that time will tell what the stock of this agenda ultimately ends up being. It's a bit of a crossroads moment for it, I would say. But after another very good goal against Atlanta United, I think it is, you have to say that this agenda it's heated up. It's heated up even to a greater extent than it had after the San Jose game, which was obviously the best all-around game we've seen from Pedro de la Vega. So still a long way to go, but trajectory upward.
I mean, you were hitting me hard on this one before, so now you're taming your own takes back. I think you should go for it and really say how you feel about Pedro being the next savior. I think you should own this one.
No,
I think you should.
I think if you go back and listen to it, I agreed with the caveats you were trying to give as far as it, like, you can't say it based off one game. I felt like you were going down the it doesn't count route. So
you were trying to burn me though hard. So I'm just coming back. I'm putting the fire to your feet too. Yeah, I think you got to own this one.
Well, what did I say that was getting putting the cart before the horse? I was just trying to give
I wasn't saying anything either, but I was getting the heat too. I mean, we have the overlord Jeremiah. He agreed with me.
You were getting the heat because you were attempting to downplay the potential significance of the performance.
I mean,
that's what I was saying.
As I recall, Your Honor, I caveated all of that with a 3-minute long Pedro de la Vega was really good in this game at the start of it, right? So I think that I was vindicated there. I think you had your sights set on me, which is fair. That was good content. But now I'm coming back for you, Ari. I think you have to own this agenda. I think you have to say he's the savior. You gotta just bite it. You gotta just go for it. I'm egging you on to go for it and say he is the savior.
I mean, I have no problem saying that if he keeps playing like this, he's the savior. It's like I'm not going to get sucked into the game of
but he said
making a proclamation off of. I mean, I admitted at the time 1 to 2 good games. You can't say anything off of that, definitively. It's about laying the baseline to get to where we want to see it go. Which is, I think that I'm pretty sure I'm saying exactly the same thing that I said.
Well, hey, if you're saying that, then I agree, because I think that it was a solid saving your ass performance in the second half. I don't think that he was bad in the first half, but I think the whole team was bad in the first half. And a great individual effort on goal. That's awesome. You can't really take that away from him. So roll him into Leagues Cup and see how he does. I mean, that's his position to lose now. So that's kind of where it is, right? Do I think he's the savior? No, I still don't. I still think that there's too much to be proven from him there, but he's looking like a $2 million player now. Let's see if he can get up to a $7 million player. And let's see if he can make it up to a valuable DP level. Let's see. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. He's not there yet, but he's getting there.
That's the reality of the situation, is that Leagues Cup and the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs. All that stuff is going to be determinative on this one way or the other. But I mean, he's off to a good start in setting up to do so. And I think last thing on this, just when I think about the stuff that you need to see from a designated player week in, week out, we've talked about it a lot. It's those game-changing plays. It's those impact plays. It's scoring a goal in a moment like that when you're down 1-0 on the road. Even on a day where the offense had a really not good first half, and you were still sitting on 0 goals in
it was all bad
50th minute or whatever. But a good DP who is living up to their stock will give you that game-changing moment, even if the game isn't necessarily going like you want it to. So he did that in this game. He did build off what he did in the San Jose game, like we were wondering and asking him to do. So it was a good goal. It was good stuff. And his stock is definitely up playing in that left wing spot. Next agenda.
One more. I have to caveat it all one more time and just say, let's also remember who he's played: San Jose and Atlanta. San Jose and Atlanta. If he can, there's nothing to say. I'm not taking away his goals. I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying San Jose and Atlanta. Give him Leagues Cup. If he can cook during Leagues Cup, I think that's way more undeniable than San Jose and Atlanta.
That would count. That would count.
I would count
in Leagues Cup.
I'm raw. You know what? Fuck it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, Ari. They don't count. They don't count.
All right. Yeah,
I'll do it. Why not? For the content.
Yeah, I like it. Next agenda: the Nuhu should regain his starting job agenda.
Big red X. This is my big red X.
I don't know if I've seen like a widespread like clamoring on this agenda, but I think it's worth talking about because Nuhu did make his return from suspension in Atlanta, and I think he played really well. He he didn't get ejected, so that's hurdle number one that he needed to clear, and he cleared that. He was pretty much good on defense. I think maybe he had like one play, I think, that he got beat or whatever, but it didn't lead to a goal. And other than that, he didn't do anything egregious. And then he had the assist on the Osaz goal that should have been the game winner, which I'll say, like, we talk about Nuhu as this black hole in attack, and that's what he has been for most of his career. And I would say that's largely remained true this season when he's been on the field. But he does have a career high in goal contributions this year.
That's true.
Which, I don't like that. I don't think that means that he's the greatest attacking left back in the world all of a sudden. But that's more than he usually gets. It's the most he's ever provided, with some games left to potentially pad that. So I think it is actually fair to say at this point that he has improved that aspect of his game a little bit this year. So that's not nothing. As far as if he should immediately regain his starting role back, if it was me coaching the team, I would not give him it back for like this next upcoming game on Thursday necessarily, maybe not even the one after that. But if he continues to, I'll put it this way: if he continues to clear these hurdles and show that he can remain on the field and positively contribute to the team, he's probably still the best option at left back on this team. As much as some people might not like it, I don't think RBU did anything to like put a stranglehold on the role in front of him, as far as like if we're talking just purely on the field, red cards notwithstanding. So I do think, regardless of what we think about it, he probably is going to end up getting the starting job back. Do you see that any different?
I mean, to caveat because it's a world full of caveats today, we can't jump to conclusions off of one game, right? Like, I don't know, like if I say that about Pedro de la Vega, I have to say that about Nuhu too. And I don't think that Nuhu did anything spectacular in this game. He had a goal contribution. He had a very nice cross, but he also almost got beat. And there were times where he was iffy. I mean, I'm not saying that Reed looked much better. He kind of got cooked by Almada. Here's what I'll say. If I had to choose between roughing it out with Reed, making some mistakes and getting starts and actually building up his profile, over playing Nuhu and potentially having him crash out again and throw the ball, because sample size dictates and tells us that he's good for one crash out. Maybe he's got it out of his system, but you never know. People say lightning doesn't strike twice, but it could. And all of that to say, I think Reed has so much more upside. His floor is much lower, but like for me, I'd much rather see Reed playing in that position, working with De La Vega, working in that space, and like really just building up his own stature and standing so he can take over that position. And that's my take. I think that Nuhu looked fine and good coming in that substitution role. That's awesome. But keep letting him do that. He closed out the game, didn't get a red card, didn't crash out, and scored an assist. Like, I'm very proud of you. Should not regain his starting job just yet, though. I think we got to give Reed some more run for his development, and that's the truth. And it's Leagues Cup, so let him run Leagues Cup. That's my take.
I think the run of crash outs got to a place where, again, if I was making this call, I would bring him off the bench for at least 1 or 2 more games here,
Yeah.
as just sort of like a symbol of like, if you go on a run of crash outs like that, it's going to be a systematic multi-game process to reassert yourself and re-earn your spot. And if you do that, then you will get it back. I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying about being more inclined to give RBU minutes to develop chemistry with De La Vega and live with some of the growing pains. I just don't expect the coaching staff to see it like that. I think as far as defensively, which we know Brian Schmetzer values, well, for now, while Nuhu is in this like earn your spot back phase. But I think if push comes to shove in like a big game, say they make a run in Leagues Cup and they have like a semifinal game where they have a chance to go to the final, I would be pretty surprised if anyone but Nuhu got the start in that type of situation, because the coaches are also like taking, a career's worth body of work into account. And Schmetz, we don't have to like it. People don't like it, but Schmetz has kind of that level of trust in Nuhu to put him out there in big games and big moments that I think he probably doesn't have in RBW at this point. That's just how I see where it stands.
Well, and it's I said this before, but like the way that MLS is structured, he's going to play regardless. He's on the roster. He's a defender. He's going to play. That's just how it works. Like, you don't roster players and then not play them at his salary, at his pedigree. So it doesn't matter what we think at all. Regardless if he starts or not, he's going to play. He's going to get minutes, and that's the end of it. So I think at the end of the day, what I hope is that he doesn't crash out again. Because I just don't.
I mean, if the crash outs,
I'm not really with that. I'm not really with that.
If the crash outs continue past this and that pattern keeps going, then he's just like not going to be on the team much. Like, I think he has to understand that at this point, that like if it
he's the
continues like that, then that he's not going to be on the field and probably not going to be on the team.
He's the lion, bro.
I think
you can't cage the lion, bro. You can't cage the lion. Spicy teriyaki unleashes the beast. You can't cage the lion, Ari. I'm sorry. You just can't.
We'll see. He's going to get the opportunity to show that he can make it through more than one appearance without getting ejected. Next agenda, the Osaz de Rosario should be unleashed agenda. He scores the go-ahead goal at Atlanta, first MLS goal. Number 9 depth with Jordan Morris being injured all year has been an issue. What do you do if Danny Musovski can't go? Do you slide Ferreira over? That's one option that Nico and I were talking about on kickoff, and we'll get to that later. That's what we think they're going to do as the first choice for when Danny Musovski isn't in the starting 11. But if Osaz wants to boost his stock and get more minutes, the thing that he has to do is score goals. So he did do that in his last appearance, and I think, looking at that goal in particular, it showed kind of a physical skill set that Moose and Ferreira don't necessarily have. As far as he's just that goal that he scored. I'm not comparing these two players, but that goal he scored was like a Benteke type of goal where you're just such a stout, physical, big presence in the box. You're just standing in front of the center back, literally just standing like a statue there. And then the cross comes in, and because you're so big, the dude can't get around you and you're just able to flick the header. That's not really the type of goal that Moose has been scoring this year, or that I would expect Jesus Ferreira to score if he gets any sort of extended run at that position. So I'm not like passionately clamoring for this agenda, but I think the one thing that he could do to get me intrigued by this agenda, he just did in the Atlanta game. He scored a goal and kind of showcased a skill set that the other forwards on the roster don't offer to what he theoretically could. So I'm intrigued and cautiously optimistic regarding this agenda. How are you feeling about the Osaz stock?
I like Osaz a lot. I mean, his next pro play was insane. Like, I mean, he was breaking that league completely. And I love his hold up play. I love the way that he plays. He reminds me of like a combination of Benteke and Jordan and Moose in a way, like very tall, very stout,
not
physical.
the pace and like field stretching of Jordan, but like
no,
as far as presence,
I'm not saying
presence in the box.
Yeah. And I think for me, I would love to see him get run over Jesus Ferreira at the 9. And yes, I would like for him to be unleashed, because for me, I don't really believe, like, I believe in Jesus Ferreira, but he's played so well on the wing. I just don't understand the value of pulling him from that position, because who's going to go and slot into there? Pedro de la Vega. Well, Pedro de la Vega isn't playing well on that side. So it's like, I think that running Jesus Ferreira on that wing, you can still tell him that he can get more vertical and take more shots when you have a player like Osaz in there. And he can maybe interchange and intertwine with Osaz and play kind of as like a false nine at times and just slot into that position. I like that a lot more than telling Jesus Ferreira to just play the nine, which has not been effective in any shape or form. And then he's finding his rhythm on the wing. Like I would much rather see Osaze. I think that he plays a lot better to how the Sounders have been successful. He needs to be way better on defense. He needs to be more aware. There are times when he is not completely there. Like he kind of is ball watching a little bit. And I think that that just comes down to like the speed of play change from Next Pro to MLS and the counterattack that the Sounders are playing with. He's got to get back. And Brian even hinted on this as a part of like breaking down the game in Atlanta, because he didn't step towards Miranchuk and got kind of confused with Danny Leyva. He takes the shot there. I don't blame either of them truly for that absolute screamer of a goal. But the thing is, there is a 0.0001 chance that happens. So you don't even want to give him that chance. So I think there's things that he can improve his game on, but like, I would love to see him. I would love to see him play as Moose's backup rather than playing as the backup to the backup, because I think he would be a lot more successful than Jesus Ferreira. And that's coming from someone who believes in Jesus Ferreira and needs him to score multiple more goals so I don't get a tattoo. So it's going against my own best interest, but I do think that if they can like get him right and get him fit in there, he could absolutely be a monster.
I mean, what you're talking about there is actually a perfect segue into the next thing I had on the list, which was the Jesus Ferreira number 9 whole debate agenda, because Nico and I kind of inadvertently caused some controversy on kickoff when we were plugging in Jesus Ferreira up top as what we felt like Schmetz, there's a good chance that Schmetz is going to do at times in this tournament whenever Moose isn't starting. To me, that seemed like the obvious secondary choice, like Moose contingency plan, with Osaze being the option, the clear like number 3 option after that. But our chat, a few of our chatters really didn't like, and yeah, exactly, it's kind of the same group of people, but they were talking about like one thing that you mentioned, which is sort of the track record that we've seen this season when they have ran that. I think I that issue in particular, I just see a little differently in that was definitely true early in the season, like when he was first getting integrated on the team, and they ran that a couple of times in a couple road games, one at St. Louis and one at San Diego, and we all remember that those 2 games did not go particularly well for Seattle offensively, or really, in the case of the San Diego game, any capacity. I think the idea that he hasn't had any sort of effective run there since that period of time is a little outdated. The last time they ran it was against San Diego, and he at home, and he scored a game-winning goal. So there is at least one instance of it working, and it was Paul Rothrock on the right who gave him that service. So I think that's at least one data point where it was successful. And also, I just think he's so much better adapted and integrated with the team at this point compared to earlier in the season when they were struggling with it. And ultimately, I think it's something that you honestly have to run more to see if you can get it to a functional place, and know that if it is in fact a viable contingency plan, because like sometimes you just don't know at this point if it's a situation that is just going to take more time to see if you can maximize what you get out of it. I mean, remember we were talking a lot earlier this season about the struggles that Ferreira and Rusnak were having playing together and getting in each other's space.
At
and
the
now
9 and 10.
Yeah, and also when Ferreira was in the wide channel as well. They like, because
Was
when
he on
Ferreira
the left in those games? I can't remember any. Was he has he been on the right? I literally cannot remember.
I think he was on the right, and I think the issue, to my memory, was that he was sort of drifting into Rusnak's number 10 role, and they were sort of stepping on each other's toes, and it brought into question whether their skill sets could function effectively together on the field at the same time. And it was a valid question at the time based on what we were seeing on the field. But then over the last month or so, I think that has, like, I have no really qualms or anxiety about them I think they've solidified themselves, in fact, as part of the front four playing together. They combined really well for a goal at Sporting Kansas City. Ferreira, in general, has been a lot more productive over the last month, and the offense has looked really good over these last 4 games. They have 11 goals in their last 4 games with Jesus Ferreira and Albert Rusnak both starting and playing most all of those games. So I think those are things to be taken into account. And then as far as whether how much run he should get at the number 9, I do want to, like I said in the last agenda, I do want to see Osaz get his looks there as well. I think him scoring a goal is a good reason to try that more. But it also comes down to just like, what are your options based on where you're at depth-wise with the Jordan injury and the Noah Ohio thing, like not official yet. That would give you another option there. But like with Jordan Morris injured, and Danny Musovski not able to play every single minute of every single game, I like I said, I think you have to run it and see if you can make it work, because you just need to know one way or the other at a certain point to inform how you're gonna like approach these situations for the rest of the season. So that's my take on it.
Here's my 2 cents on it. One, I think they will do it because I think I know Brian Schmetzer, and I think that he'd probably rather give a known entity minutes in a tournament than an unknown entity minutes in a tournament, because we'll talk about later too, what you have to do to actually advance in Leagues Cup is very challenging. You need to win every single game, basically.
Yeah.
And for me, if you want to win every single game, I want to keep people in the positions that they're performing in. I have not seen, yes, that San Diego game, absolutely. He did score that match winner, and that was nice. That was great. That was a great goal. I just don't see him being as effective playing a full match at the 9 than playing a full match on the wing. And so for me, you have other attackers. You can tell him to get in on the attack more and more on that wing role, and he can do that. And you can have De Rosario play, and you can have, if it's not working with De Rosario after 45 minutes, you can switch it around. But it's like, for me, I would run that if you have to do it. I would run that if you have to do it, because Jesus Ferreira gives you so much on that wing. He has been so good defensively, so good at moving the ball around, having that vision. If you can have him, Pedro de la Vega, and then you can swap them around. And listen, let's say that, you don't have a goal. It's the 60th minute. You're like, okay, we got to try something else. And you put Jesus Ferreira at the 9, and you bring on Georgie, and you bring on Paul Rothrock for your 2 wingers, right? Awesome. That sounds like a great juiced energy. Ferreira can kind of not be as like mobile and have a little bit of the game kind of played out on that wing side and a little bit more settled. I just like, he's confident there. Like, he should be playing on the wing. It was the same thing with the 10 when I was like, he looks so good at the 10. He could challenge Rusnak for this spot. It's about where he's feeling confident. I hate the plug and play thing. I hate it so much. I understand why you do it, but it's like, just let him be good and be confident at that position and play that position and work himself up. Because when you're constantly bouncing around, like, I know he's a consummate professional. He's one of the best in MLS. People don't want to say it, but his track record speaks for himself. 50 goals. Just let him play one position. And he's not Christian Roldan. Okay. He's not. So I would love to not have to see him at the 9 is my final take there, but I don't expect to not see him at the 9.
Weren't you saying earlier in the season that he shouldn't play at the wide channel though?
I said he looked bad. I said
they have to play him as a 10.
No, I just said that. I said that when he was at the 10, my whole point was he looked really, which, I mean, you agree, he looked awesome at the 10. I think
he did. Yeah, that was the like Nashville game, right?
Yeah, I think he's still a really talented number 10. And I said, like, just let him pick a position for him, because they were playing him on the wing and he wasn't looking good on the wing and then they were playing him at the 9 and he wasn't looking good at the 9. And then they played him at the 10 and he looked great. So my point was like, okay, he clearly feels more confident in this position. Just stop making it so complicated for him. That was my whole thing. To your point, he is more integrated with the team. He is more understanding, but it's still, stop making it so goddamn complicated for him. Just let him play in one position. He's not Christian Roldan. He's been good on the wing, okay? Proved me wrong, absolutely. But at the same time, that was a very different time, very different position, very different setup. So I don't know what to say about that. Like, things change.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess that's sort of where that like how I see it is like there's like we already have an example of a situation this year where he wasn't necessarily looking good or effective in one role, but once he got the run there, like in that more wide role and adapted to it, he ended up looking a lot better, a lot more comfortable and producing from that spot. So it's not necessarily, I don't know if they try a similar thing with him up top, if it's going to be like a similarly positive adaptation process and he'll look better than he did earlier this season. But my point is, I think you have to give it the run to find out, because I do think there's a percentage odds that it could look better trying it again and
Why?
giving him more run, because we have an example of it happening with
No. But
with a different role.
why do we want to run him at the 9? Why is that so
Well,
important?
it's about options. I get ultimately, like, yeah, you have the Osaz option, but can you like really bank on that as like, all right, if Moose isn't in the 11 or on the field, we feel
Oh,
just
you make
like
a
we
signing.
feel great. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would change the calculation, but until
So
that
that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess I don't understand that, like, when you have essentially being told to you by the front office that we are going to sign a 9, we're going to look for a 9, we're going to sign a 9. Absolutely. Spot duty emergency. I get that. But it's like, why are we trying to test something out that we know he's not going to do? He's already confident in one position. Like, just let him build his stock in that space. I mean, he is a written in pen starter on the right side right now. And like, I don't quite get shifting him around, even if it's for options. It's worth to me more to start someone else who plays that position full time and will be playing that position full time and giving them minutes to do exactly the same thing that you're supposed to be doing with Jesus Ferreira, and putting in a player who needs to become a 9 in this league for him to be
No,
successful.
I hear what you're saying for sure. I just don't know. I mean, I feel pretty confident that the coaching staff would have reservations about like really committing to Osaze as that in that role, just because he's still, I mean, he got a goal, but he's still an unproven player who hasn't gotten a lot of minutes at all at the MLS level. And like I would feel reservations about that too, for that exact same reason. So it's about like if there's another option of a player who's like more conventional for that skill set, that has more experience, or assigning like Noah Ohio, then yeah, I would go with that as the first choice option. But as the roster stands as we record today, I think it's the second best option that you've got, for better or for worse, and you got to find out. But
Run him
we'll
against
find out on
Tijuana.
we'll find out on Thursday exactly how they handle it. I mean, maybe Moose starts, but we will find out at some point in this tournament exactly how the coaches see it, as far as if they're committed to trying and seeing if Ferreira can do it, which is what I want them to do, or if they feature Osaze more, which is what you want them to do, which I think they're both. Ultimately, I think we're going to see both things, because the coaches need this information as much as we do. So we'll see what they do on Thursday, though. It might
I mean,
be
like,
another missed game.
for me, just dude, like, you could just start him against Santos, start him against Tijuana. Both of them are middle of the table right now, but both, well, at least Santos finished 18th in they finished last in the table in the Clausura last year. So like, and no, the Apertura and the Clausura. So they were literally last place both sections of last season in Liga MX, and they're currently in 11th. Won one game, lost 2, and have conceded 5 goals. Like, just like run him against them. They're ass. They're doo doo. Like, play him, give him a starting job against a team that's like fine. And if if he sucks for 60 minutes, do the Ferreira thing. But like, come on, give my boy some run. Give my boy some run, and give Georgie some run. That's
We don't have that
that
as
we
an
didn't have it
agenda,
down,
but I was thinking when you were pontificating on who would play on that right channel, if Ferreira did slide over, Georgie would be an option that I would want to see, and I do want to see him play in this tournament, because I think overall in these phase 1 games, which we're going to talk about, like, experimentation like this is kind of part of what I want to see. It could even come at the expense of how productive the offense is, or how much of a chance they have at making a run in the tournament. But these are also, you have to balance that with like needing to find out if there's like what setups do and don't work when you're not going to have your first choice front 4 on every single week, and you got to find contingency plans. So that's something you have a chance to do in these games with things like the tactical stuff we're talking about, or getting players like Osaz and Georgie more runs. So that's honestly, I'm almost more interested in like that aspect of it than I am in how the phase 1 games go. You had 2 more agendas. Let's hit these real quick. What did you have?
Yeah, so my first agenda here is the rest Obed and Christian agenda. These guys, they need a break, Ari. They need a break. These cats have been playing too much, all right? Their hands are bleeding. They've been playing the drums. I don't know where this analogy is going here at all. Rock band.
I kind of
yeah. Like they're pounding on the drums, and they need a break. These two guys need a break. Oh my God, they've played like every single minute of every single game, and it's starting to show. It showed in that first half of that Atlanta game. It showed in the Colorado game. It's just like, guys, we got to get these guys some rest. I understand that you're hamstrung and you don't have any defensive midfield depth. You've got Snyder now, which is awesome. We talked about that. That'll be helpful. But like, oh my God, please let my boys drink a Capri Sun. Get them some orange slices.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Schmetzer did specifically say in his media availability from today that he is planning. He said he's like, when he's thinking about the lineups, one of the things he's going to be weighing is, doing what we were talking about, giving guys run that need it, but also giving guys rest who need it. So he didn't say specifically Christian, but I was encouraged to hear that. And yeah, I mean, I think that's there's just an element of this where I don't think it's even just them necessarily. I think that there's several guys on this team that could use a rest. I mean, I don't know. I put Rusnak in that category, frankly. Like, he's been putting it in. So
Danny Leyva at the 10.
Yeah, Danny Leyva at the 10 agenda. We didn't have that written down, but
maybe we could see Jesus Ferreira at the 10 then. If they are going to rest, yeah, Rusnak. I mean,
Ferreira's a guy that I would put in the could arguably use some rest category. But
correct.
Like you do have to play some of your big dogs.
You got to play someone. You got to play someone.
And I think guys like Ferreira and Rusnak, I expect to be out there more. I mean, we're talking about this, and we're going to look at the 11 on Thursday, and it's going to be Christian Roldan and Obed Vargas. Yeah. But maybe maybe not. And then I'll be interested to see what they do with the double pivot in that event. Nico and I projected it as Alex Roldan and Obed. So that's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Obed, I'm like a little less concerned about from the standpoint of like he has way fewer miles than Christian does on his legs for his career, and I think
protect him. You got to sell him.
Yeah, you don't want to run him into the ground. So it's tough, but like I also know that Schmetz has been playing him pretty consistently all year, and that theoretically with where he's at in his career, he might not need the rest as much as Christian clearly does. So we'll see if our boy can get a breather finally. I think we've been beating this drum for a while. Like they need to give him some rest. So I think even with this game on Thursday being against the Liga MX opponent, I would rather see them rest Christian for this game. He's probably not going to, but we can dream. What was your last agenda here?
Well, my final agenda, I think that we wouldn't even have to have any arguments, Ari, if this was to happen. So I'm asking for peace. Craig, I'm asking for peace. Please bring it upon us. The sign Noah, Ohio agenda. Listen, I know it's literally completely up to Noah, Ohio at this point. The ball is in his court. The offer has been made. The terms have been agreed. It's just if he wants to come to MLS or not. Dude, bro, MLS is sick. It's awesome. It's so good. It's so cool. It's epic. It's fire. It's woke. It's flames. What other youth
you get to come to a place that famously has just awesome weather all the time.
Dude,
like look at it outside today. Like that's what it's like all the time.
I'm gonna go to the lake after this. Like, dude, don't you want to come here? It's gonna be awesome. Don't worry about the playoffs in November and December. We don't have to talk about that. It's fine. Pray that you don't have to go up north. It's fine. Everything's fine, dude. It's a great place to play. Noah, Ohio, sign with the Sounders, please. I'm begging you. We need you here.
It would be a fun little subplot for that. It would give us a new thing to talk about, a new player to watch. It's always like fun picturing like a player that that Seattle is linked to in the jersey and like discussing how they could fit and stuff, and then seeing it actually happen. So I'm with this agenda. I mean, I feel like I've been pretty consistent in a player of this type of profile and price tag and all that. The hit rates, if you look at other MLS teams, they're not especially high, but I wouldn't mind at all of them. You got to take swings.
Gotta
right?
try.
You got to try.
You have to
So
try.
I wouldn't mind at all if they did take a swing and see if it can work out, and see if you can like kind of make these tactical debates that we were having earlier like a little less of an issue, where you're having to move guys out of their best or whatever their preferred position is. He would help that, and it would be a fun subplot. So I'm with this agenda.
Okay, I have one more. I added one more. I know we're doing marathon agenda check here, but it has to be said. Matt Doyle, famously the guy who sits on the armchair. Do you know about this guy, Ari?
Yeah,
you heard of him?
I've heard of him a couple times. Yeah,
he was talking about he was pontificating. He was theorizing. He was saying, there's a lot of teams that could use one of the Sounders players who's really getting a little bit of run. So I'm going to dub this the Matt Doyle transfer Ryan Kent to an MLS team agenda. Trade Ryan Kent to another MLS team agenda. Ari, how do you feel about this? And then I'll give my take.
I mean, I would say I feel similar to any other trade proposition in that, like, there's a price for everyone. Like, if the value that you're going to get is good and you can use that to improve the team, and you feel good about where your depth is at that position to be able to, withstand not having him on the roster in that spot, then yeah, I mean, it just depends what the compensation is. If it's like a super low ball, not good deal just to get him off the books and move him for the sake of moving him, then I would not support that. But if someone comes in with just like a super sick offer, either monetarily or for a really good player at another position of need, then like I said, price for anybody. Like, and with Ryan Kent in particular, I thought he looked better in the Atlanta game, but he hasn't really been that effective for the last month or so. I've been saying that I still have my stock, and I think that he can be closer to the type of player we saw when he first got to the team. So from that perspective, I'm not like hankering to move him. But if the money's right or the compensation is right, then I wouldn't be steadfastly against it.
Why he's not playing? Like, I don't know what he can do to get on the field. Like, he's now buried.
He played in the last game and got a secondary assist.
Yeah, but he's playing 10 minutes. He's subbed on in the 80th minute.
I think he's gonna get a lot more run in Leagues Cup. I would be surprised.
But how much more complicated does that make the left wing? You already have Pedro de la Vega, who is, the hot hand. You have Paul Rothrock, who had basically become the penciled in starter. And I think honestly, if Pedro takes a slip, he might pop back up in that position. Ryan Kent, you have, like that's your top three, right? Like, who else can play over there? I don't know. Like, maybe Georgie. I'm not sure if he can switch wings, but it's just like, you're a team full of wingers, man. And like, he's not breaking into that side at all. He's not breaking into the right side. He's not even played there one time. We've heard from other people that he can basically play anywhere. He's played at the 10. He's played at both the left and right wings. I don't know what the value is in letting him sit on this roster. He has already had such a hard time with literally this exact same situation. He's doing the same exact situation that happened at Beşiktaş or whoever they're Fenerbahçe. And I just feel bad for him, man. Like, he's very clearly a talented player, but very clearly he's not getting any run. He's not looking good. I mean, we saw Moose when he wasn't getting run and he wasn't confident. He looks terrible. I dubbed him the worst player to ever play soccer. And guess what? Once he got playing time and starts and everything, I had to eat. And it's the greatest I've ever ate. It tasted like those chocolate pudding mud pies, and it was delicious. Okay. But the reality is, like, he's a good player. I just feel bad for him. And like, personally, on a personal level, like, I want him to be able to play soccer because he's good at it. And he looked like the best player to ever play in a Sounders kit for approximately 2 matches. And I feel like he can still be that player. I have my stock as well. I think maybe he could do that on another team. And maybe that's doing right by the player. And maybe then if this Noah Ohio deal doesn't work out, you can bring in a 9.
I want to see more. I want to see more before they do something like that. I think there are going to be opportunities for him to get more run than he has been getting. And I think, for me at least, what we saw at the beginning in those first couple games was so good that if there's like any possibility at all that you can get him rolling again and playing it back even to like 70-80% of that level. That I think the upside with him that we saw in his early days on the team was like probably in the top 5 to 10 best wide playmakers in the entire league, like if he could have sustained it. So just the fact that we saw that type of upside with him at all, even if it was only for 2 games, that had me intrigued enough to for me to put some stock down to where, as we sit here today, going into Leagues Cup, I want to see them give him some more extended run in this tournament and try and recapture the glory. I'm not saying that's for sure going to happen. I definitely agree that the whole experience has not like lived up in the last few weeks to what we saw at the beginning, but oh man, it was electrifying. So
yeah, like I don't want to sell my stock either. He's an amazing player, but it's also like at the same time, he can't be better if he doesn't play. And how is he going to play?
There's going to be opportunities in Leagues Cup for him to play. Like, I'm not worried about that. I don't know if it's going to be like playing 80-90 minutes a match, but he's going to play, and we're going to be able to get a better idea of where things stand. Because the other thing I've been saying about him is that, like, for all the talk about how he's been like a total zero since those first 2 games, I don't think that's totally true. I think that there are at least like 3 to 4 very high level chances that he's generated that could have added to his assist total.
Like that one that Ferreira missed.
Yeah, or the one that Alex Roldan missed in Vancouver, the one that Georgie was offsides for in the FC Dallas game. And then he got the secondary in Atlanta, which, whatever you think of that, if you just grant a reality where he got where those chances were converted, he would be up to 7 assists in the league. So like to me, he's played at the level of a player who could have had that output with, some better finishing. So that's just another reason why I'm like, man, like maybe that player of those first 2 games is still in there somewhere. So this tournament is going to, like, I think, inform how we see his stock a little better.
So let's say he gets back to that level, right? Which inshallah, let's hope, right? Like, yeah. I want. What happens then? Now you have
a good problem to have.
Yeah, but you have 3 left wingers that are like all starters.
That sounds awesome.
That's crazy.
That sounds like the greatest thing ever.
That's crazy.
Like it would be log jammed for sure,
yeah.
But you would much rather be in a situation.
No, you're right. It's just like I've never experienced this as an MLS fan. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with my hands, Ari. I don't know what to do.
One thing I've learned is that you absolutely cannot ever have like too much depth in this.
No,
you can think that you're 3 deep at a position, and that can change at the drop of a hat due to injuries and like travel and fixture congestion and all that. So if he any depth that they can stack up at any position.
No, you're right.
I'm all in favor of that.
You know what? You've convinced me. I'm anti-transfer. Don't transfer him. Don't transfer.
Not
yet.
Yet.
You're right.
Let's see what he can do against Leagues Cup.
And this is why we do the podcast. And this is why we do the podcast.
Exactly.